Now, I want to speak about Elena Kagan, who is the nominee, and she's going to be, barring some miracle, she will be approved by the overwhelmingly Democrat U.S. Senate, unfortunately. She's been nominated by Barack Hussein Osama, the Muslim anti-Semitic president of the United States. Now, she's a Jew, but, you know, he nominated a Jew for the Supreme Court. That doesn't mean anything. Anti-Semites have used Jews to achieve their goals throughout history. That doesn't mean anything. With Jews like her, we don't need any Nazis. We don't need any enemies. I mean, she is the ultimate example of a self-hating Jew. She is a lesbian. She has fought for homosexual and lesbian perversion all of her life. She is someone who supported Barack Hussein Osama, supported Bill Clinton, supported all the Jew-hating enemies of the Jewish people. She is a disgrace. She is a chilul Hashem, a desecration of God's name in every way, just like all the Jewish Supreme Court justices and Jewish judges. They're all like that. I mean, almost all, 99.9% of them are like that. There were 3 judges on the U.S. Court of Appeals that decided the case of the hero Jonathan Pollard. A grotesque miscarriage of justice was done to Pollard. He was promised a light sentence. He was promised all types of things. And the government blatantly violated, and the judge, this black affirmative action judge, who thankfully is dead now, named Robinson, blatantly violated his agreement. I mean, it was the most blatant miscarriage of justice ever that anyone could ever possibly imagine. They gave him life without parole when he was promised a light sentence. I mean, it was just unbelievable what they did to him. And so he wanted to be resentenced in front of a different judge. That was his appeal. And he goes in front of 3 judges in front of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. 2 out of the 3 judges, Silberman and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Lawrence Silberman and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yimach Shmam V'Zichram. May their names and memories be obliterated. 2 of the 3 judges were Jews. And the one Gentile judge was Judge Stevens. Judge Stevens, the Gentile judge, ruled in favor of Pollard. This was the ultimate proof of how disastrous it is when Jews obtain power in the Galut, how self-hating, how ugly, how anti-Semitic they are, what Judenrat, capo, filth they become, what scum they become. The Gentile judge, Judge Stevens, said it was a gross miscarriage of justice, and Pollard, and he ruled that they should overturn Pollard's sentence. The one Gentile on the panel. But the 2 Jewish judges, for the majority, ruled against Pollard. They ruled no, we don't care if it was a miscarriage of justice for some technical reason. They used the technicality, this petty little technicality, to make it so that Jonathan Pollard has to sit in jail for the rest of his life. Why? Because he tried to save the state of Israel from a disaster. And by the way, he saved American lives too by what he did. Jonathan Pollard is a hero to America and to Israel. But 2 out of the 3 judges were Jewish. They were against Pollard. The one Gentile judge was in favor of Pollard. I mean, this is the ultimate example of how evil and horrible and anti-Semitic the powerful Jews of America are. The Hollywood Jews, the news media Jews, the Jewish senators and Jewish congressmen. They're the first ones to go against Israel. They're the first ones to stab their fellow Jews in the back. The worst nightmare for a Jew who fights for the Jewish people and gets arrested fighting for the Jewish people, the worst nightmare is if he goes in front of a Jewish judge. 99% of them bend over backwards to show the anti-Semites, you see how impartial I am? I screw my own people. You see how objective I am? I'm objective and I'm impartial. This is what we deal with. And so all the insane, twisted, ghetto-minded Jews who say, oh, it's wonderful, we have a Supreme Court justice who's Jewish, another one, oh, that's wonderful. Now there are going to be 3 on 1/3 of the Supreme Court is going to be Jewish. What a nightmare. I mean, we're going to have another one of these self-hating beasts. And by the way, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who ruled against Pollard, then went on to be nominated for the U.S. Supreme Court. You know, she had cancer recently. Unfortunately, she survived. I mean, what a sick, despicable, evil group of people. And by the way, Anyone who has pity on informers or traitors to the Jewish people is going against Torah Judaism. We're supposed to wish for their death, and we're supposed to wish for their destruction in this world and the next. We're supposed to curse them 3 times a day in our prayers. And anyone who doesn't do that is going against the Jewish religion and against the commandments of Judaism. And the fact that they're Jewish and do this to their own people make them worse than a Gentile anti-Semite. That's what, to do this to your own? That's even more evil than a Gentile anti-Semite. I mean, look at Elena Kagan, a lesbian. She spends her time fighting for lesbians. Not for the Jewish people. Jewish people she couldn't care less about. She'll screw her own people, but she fights for the lesbians. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here. And you could be sure she's going to put her ugly long nose up every black tuchus and every Muslim tuchus while she's on that Supreme Court. You can be sure of that. And boy, is she ugly. Her and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, wow. I mean, why are these self-hating Jews so damn ugly? Oh, is she ugly. I mean, I don't know who's uglier, her or Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's a close call. It's quite a contest between the two of them. I mean, look at all the self-hating Jews in powerful positions in America. And it's always been like that. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president, all of his advisors were Jewish. And he deliberately did everything to make sure that 6 million Jews would be murdered during the Holocaust. And not one of his advisors ever said to him, hey, listen, 12,000 Jewish men, women, and children are being gassed every single day. How can we allow this? No, not one of his Jewish advisors said anything to him. And the vast majority of American Jews voted for him. 4 times he ran for re-election. But this is before we had a constitutional amendment limiting a president to 2 terms. He was re-elected 4 times. That animal, that Nazi animal, Yemach Shmo v'Zichro. And now, I mean, we have the same situation now. Rahm Emanuel, Yemach Shmo v'Zichro. David Axelrod, Yemach Shmo v'Zichro. These 2 self-hating Judenrat Capo Jews who swarm around this black Muslim Nazi Barack Hussein Osama like flies swarm around you-know-what. They also swarm around something that's brown, flies. And these 2 self-hating Jew flies swarm around something brown also. I mean, what a disgusting, hideous group of people. And the Jews were so happy when Obama was elected. Oh, good, he has Rahm Emanuel and David Axelrod. He's surrounded by Jews. Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, what sick behavior. And by the way, we have the Jewish... I never vote for the Jew running for political... Never. Or if there's a Jew running against a Gentile, maybe very rare occasions... There may be very, very, extremely rare occasions where the Gentile is even worse. Very rare occasions. 99% of the time you should vote against the Jew running for public office. If you care about Israel and the Jewish people, vote against the Jew running for public office. I'll give you an example. This coming Tuesday, May 18th. Tuesday, May 18th, there's an important primary for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. That unbelievable self-hating monster, Arlen Specter, Yemach Shmo v'Zichro, who's 80 years old and has spent his whole 80 years screwing his own people. That animal, Arlen Specter, is running for re-election in the Democrat primary. He was a Republican, now he's a Democrat. Doesn't matter what party, he was always a Jewish anti-Semite. That filthy pig is running against Congressman Joe Sestak in the Democrat primary on this Tuesday, May 18th. If anybody's in Pennsylvania, you know anybody who's a registered Democrat in Pennsylvania, make sure they vote for Congressman Joe Sestak. By the way, Congressman Joe Sestak is not a friend of the Jewish people. He's another Democrat, another left-wing Democrat pig. But we should do everything we can to get Arlen Specter, the self-hating Jew, out to defeat him this Tuesday. Arlen Specter, this piece of subhuman garbage, organized senators to go and meet with Saddam Hussein in the 1980s and support Saddam Hussein when Saddam Hussein was threatening to burn all of Israel and perpetrate a Holocaust against the Jewish people. Arlen Specter went to Baghdad, met with Saddam Hussein. He organized Republican senators to go and meet with Saddam Hussein and kiss Saddam Hussein's behind. Arlen Specter together with the other self-hating Jews, Levin from Michigan. They're all alike. I mean, they're all alike. Every one of them, Boxer from California and Wyden from Oregon, they're all the same story. Signing letters, telling Israel to give up land and telling Israel to surrender and pressuring Israel. This is what they're all like. Lieberman, yeah, Joe Lieberman. We have people now who are against Obama who think Lieberman is okay because he supported John McCain for president in 2008. Big deal. He's the ultimate example of a self-hating Jew also, Joe Lieberman. They're all alike.